Post on Instagram last night, I think from CNBC. It might have been like CNBC and then somebody else, like one of those joint partnership posts. But it was this lady talking about how she had a 4.5 average in high school. She went to her dream college, which I think they showed somebody with a UCLA shirt on. Don't quote me on that because I'm not going to go out of my way to go look. But it looked like, 4.5, went on to a top college, and then she mentioned she graduated and she was ended up living at home on food stamps. And I sent it over to Kane, who I do another show with, and we're actually working on a book together. Um, you know, we're going to do another episode on that, but it sparked an interesting conversation. But I look back, and this is someone that obviously has some cognitive ability to get a 4 or 5 in school, either smart, has work ethic, or both, and then goes on to a top university and graduates. How is it you're on food stamps? My father has an 8th grade education, and I think that's being generous. Worked in a steel factory. They went on strike. We worked crappy jobs to stay alive. We were never on food stamps. Had a whole side of my family that was, but we were never on food stamps. And that's even going back to like the 90s when it was significantly harder to find any job anywhere. How is it someone that's got a 4.5 in high school and a college degree and ends up on food stamps while living at home? And that's a difference, I think, between people coming out of college sometimes and, I didn't really go to college. I never had that mentality. I had a mentality of I got bills, I need food, I got rent, I need money. And I didn't care what I did for that money. I cleaned doctors' offices, I cleaned dirty ass car dealerships, worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time until I got into the tech world. There was no that job is too dirty for me or I'm too good for that job. It was I need to provide for myself. That's what I learned from my father, if not much, is that he got up every day, went to the steel factory for 30 years, and he put food on the table for his kid and made sure we had a roof. And while we didn't have much, he did what he could. How is it you have a great education and you end up living at home on food stamps? Like, how bad is it? And I own a company called Employment Boost, and we're actually launching a portal that's got videos about how to build a better career in life. But we have customers that come in for college planning, career planning, and a lot of times it's parents with their children, and it's tough sometimes. It's like it gets to the point to where you almost have to recommend to the parents, like, I can't even help you in this situation. You might need to go see like a psychologist. Like, I'm working with someone to develop a test right now, an IO. And it's like, behavior modification, I think they call it. Don't quote me on that. Because, they're 24 years old and taking a $15 hour job somewhere. It's so beneath them, they won't do it. So they'll just sit at home and play video games. This is how you end up on food stamps with a degree from UCLA. It's like, God, we need to change something in society where we get back to this thought of you have to provide for yourself. That is your number one responsibility in this world. Not to go do a job you love or that you have a passion for. You have to take care of yourself. You got to pay your bills. You need to put food on the table. And I think that's where we're at, where we go, people will say things like, there's no jobs out there, or I'm not getting any job offers. Like, well, there might not be any jobs out there that you want to do, but that doesn't mean there's not jobs out there. You just don't want to do those jobs. Whole other problem, right? There are jobs out there that are paying 15, 20 bucks an hour right now. There's a sandwich shop down the street from me paying 20 bucks an hour to go make goddamn sandwiches. That's $40,000 a year. You're not living on food stamps, making $40,000 a year. But people will make the conscious decision to say that's a meaningless job. I'd rather just stay home and not contribute to society. Which we have a worker shortage, and now we're consuming more than we're producing, and that's causing a whole bunch of other issues. It's like, Jesus Christ, people, go work. You can't sit around. If you can't get the exact job you want, paying exactly what you want, if you can't work from home and you can't, if you can't get all that, you just say, I don't want to work at all. This is how you end up at like 25 years old, living at home on food stamps, when obviously you're a smart person because you can't get out of your own way. I don't know that person's full story. I've just seen this story hundreds of times to say I didn't need to see that story. Like I've lived it. I've had customers bring their kids in trying to help them. Like there's money to be made out there. You got to get it out of your head that this is a meaningless job. There is no meaningless job that puts food on the table. Like I went days without eating food as a kid. Trust me, you learn really fast. There is no bad job when you're hungry. And I'm not going to go look for the government to take care of me because I didn't want to go work at Costco. It's like, man, this is why we're watching the world kind of go south right now. We have to provide for ourselves. And, man, it's crazy times when you see what I would have done to have these opportunities that I see at Amazon right now, at the sandwich shop when I was 18 years old. Even 17 years old, some of those places would hire you to make that kind of money. You got minimum wage back then. You don't get minimum wage now. It may not be what people consider a living wage, but 15, 20 bucks an hour is decent money if you're 17, 18 years old with no skill. And where I came from, no skill, really no education. I hardly went to high school. I just worked. To make that kind of money, I could have started my life. But we got people living at home on food stamps with UCLA degrees. How much sense does this make? I don't know. Goes back to what you see on my background. It's just hard work. At the end, it doesn't matter what you do. When there's this many jobs available, you may not have a lot of money, but you shouldn't be poor. You might be broke, right? I think her point was she was talking about money management is what the episode was about. But I'm like, money management tells me you're making money, but maybe you got in the debt. How do you get on food stamps? You got to have you got to be like below the poverty line. Again, I've had quite a few family members that, we didn't grow up with that much money. Like, I had quite a few family members that were on government assistance. You basically got to make like no money to get food stamps. So she was talking about money management. And I'm like, well, that assumes that you're making money. So how are you making money and on food stamps? I want to, what is the story there? Or you just weren't making any money. So it's like, you see these people that work 40 hours at their corporate job, and then they go make coffee at Starbucks for another 15 hours a week. And they go make another $200 or $300 a week or an extra $1,000 a month on their side gig. That helps pay down their school loans, saves for a vacation, pays down some debt, whatever it is they want to do. And it's amazing that they still get to do everything that everyone else does. They just watch less TV. There's money to be made, but you have to get it out of your head that you're too good for this. I can't get my hands dirty. You know how many times I heard someone look me in the face and say, well, I went to college. I don't want to do that job. What does that mean, you went to college? You got no job right now. You got no money. You're asking your parents right now for money for lunch. What does that mean, you went to college? Man, go make some money and take care of yourself and provide for yourself. Crazy times we're living in. If you have a story, drop it below. Someone you know that's in the same situation where they won't get out of their own way, or they feel they're too good or too entitled to do these quote-unquote, crappy jobs or meaningless job. You know how many times I heard someone tell me trucking jobs are meaningless, but then they're on Twitter complaining that they can't, buy these items in the store because the truckers aren't delivering it? Watch how fast the world comes to an end when these meaningless jobs aren't done. When there's no one to work on your car, no one to work on the airplane, when you want to go take your trip to Cabo, when the truck drivers aren't delivering your food, when someone's not making your burrito at Chipotle anymore. Yeah, these aren't all meaningless jobs. These are the jobs that keeps our society moving in the way that it does. These jobs make our life very convenient. You ever seen how hard farmers work? Yeah. All right, you don't like, the truck driving jobs are meaningless and the grocery store people are meaningless and the people making your food. Go out back, grow some crops and cook all your own food, and let's see how easy that is. Maybe we'll learn to appreciate these people that are out there busting their ass every day to keep this world moving. But anyways, if you have a story of someone that's overly entitled or won't get out of their own way, drop the story below. I'll catch you on the next one.